It's contest night. Yes, if you get these three words right, this little phrase, if you come on over to YouTube, if you are not here already joining us live, and you have not worked with me, I haven't talked to you before, and you get this phrase right, the three little words that he must be able to say or you can't stay. I want you to think about that. You may be you may be thinking of those three little words that all women want to hear, which is let's make reservations. No, in all seriousness, it's very important for you to be with a man who can say these three words to you. And I'm going to tell you why that is. It's different than what you might think. And again, it's contest night. So if you are watching me over here and you are on the live, we have to wait a few minutes because my software, takes some time for YouTube to bring me on and then Instagram to bring me on. But if you are checking it out here, come on over to YouTube. Again, if you are on Instagram, come over to YouTube because the woman, and make no mistake, I'm only talking to women here. The woman who gets this right, if it's going to work out for us in terms of time to talk about this, and I can delay my giving you what those three words are. Someone who is new will win talking to me and working with me in my program calls once a week for a month. So, if that's of interest to you and you think you might know the answer, well, put the answer in. And again, this is for new folks. And I'm hoping that someone will win tonight. Last time we did this, there was someone who didn't know my work. She happened upon the live and I asked a question and she got it right. And I talked with her because you see, if I know that a woman who is here, if she can guess what these three words are that are very important for the man to be able to say to a woman, for you to have any chance of a good, healthy, long-term relationship. That's what I want you to think about. Because I'm going to make the delineation between these three words, what I'm talking about tonight, and the three words that most people think what it might be, which is, I love you. It's not, I love you. These are three different words. Very, very important. Think about this to show the stability of the man, the conscientiousness of the man, because if you know anything about me and my work and you've watched any of my videos, you know how important it is. It is the number one trait that a man must have for you to be able to have any decent relationship with him, and that is conscientiousness, because that's an overriding trait that will allow for him to have moments of uh, kindness, duty, honor, respect, all manner of things. He might be a good provider, if that's what you're looking for, if he's conscientious. Think about that. It really does encompass so many traits. So again, if you are just coming on this live and you think you might know what these three words would be, not I love you, and I'll tell you why that isn't as significant an issue for a man to be able to say as these three words. So if you're on Instagram, come over to YouTube and you can put it in the chat. And someone who has not worked with me, who I don't know, who I haven't talked to, you will win, and you will be able to at least have a talk with me and see if it's the right time for maybe you to be working with me for a month, weekly. There is absolutely no obligation to this. I simply do this to allow for women to find me, to understand the work I do, and to get a chance to talk to me. That's really all it is. So I'm going to tell you why the I love you is not as important as these three words. Many men have an issue, especially early on, with the I love you phrase. There are men who come from homes where that was freely bandied about. They have no hang-ups about that. They have had good relationships in the past and said it to women, and it didn't cause them any manner of issues, what have you. That can be few and far between. Men are afraid to use those three words and that phrase with women, and they will not use it until they've completely committed. Now, there's a caveat, because even if very, very committed, they're conscientious, they feel they've made a decision, it can be so vulnerable to the man that he could have a very difficult time saying those words. And we could go into many of the reasons why, from his programming in childhood, all manner of reasons why it might be very difficult for him to say it. What really is important is for you, if you are in the relationship with him, is to know that he does love you. And how, and this is going to be a good one, and put in the chat, how do you know the man loves you? There's two really good answers to this. Without him telling you, how do you know if he does? Think about that a second and put it in the chat. How will you know? And actually, there can be quite a few answers to this. For example, the man asks you to marry him, and you get married, but he still hasn't been able to say those words. There are instances of that. Well, certainly that woman knows how. Yay! Yay, Virginia! Virginia got it right. Yes, I'm going to put it up. You have a typo in there, but it doesn't matter, because, yes, by his actions. Actions do speak louder than words. And yes, you can know if he does or not by his dedication to you, his honoring you, his actions towards you. Someone said investment. Yes. Mostly that's how do we know he's invested? Typically by his actions. He's investing time. He might be certainly generous with you of spirit and finances and what have you. But his actions, he might be a very dutiful man. His love language may be acts of service. His love language may be quality time. But just because he's unable to say it, and again, if you are in a relationship and it's something you need, there are ways to make him feel okay about expressing it. I have heard of many women like just coming out and asking the man, "Do you love me?" I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that gets you as far. Hey there. I don't think that gets you as far as other ways of getting him to feel safe to say those three words. And make no mistake, that's this phrase, the "I love you," is not the phrase I'm talking about tonight. It's just we are talking about it here while waiting for some other people to come on because it's contest night. And if you are watching me over on Instagram, you can come over to YouTube. And if you feel you know the three words I'm going to say, and you have not worked with me, you have not talked to me, and you know these three words, put them in the chat and you will win the contest if I haven't said it before. And we're getting there because I want to give you these three words. And just so you know, if you're just coming on to YouTube or you're finding this video, who is this woman? I'm Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach for women, social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I help women find a Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship so you create the relationship of your dreams and level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. Because make no mistake, we as women, we are the creators of great relationships. That may fly in the face of all manner of stuff that we're getting out there in our modern dating world today, because everything is about reciprocity and equality and communication, and that men should be very in touch with how they feel, as in touch with their feelings as women are. And I don't think that that is very helpful. I think it is why we are in the dating and relationship situation we are in now in the modern world, because we are not attending to the fact that we are equal but opposite. It's yin and yang, sun and rain, night and day, on or off, stop or go, male or female. And it's the connection and coming together of the two differences that make a better whole. It's the yin and yang of things. And it doesn't mean we're not equal. We are completely equal, just like oranges and apples are equal fruit, but they're opposite. They grow in different soil. They need different things to grow. And one's a citrus, one's not. So we must attend to the differences in our male counterparts to allow them to feel safe. And it takes a lot for a man to feel emotionally safe. Again, cultural differences, differences in growing up, all that makes a huge difference in a man being able to say it. But yes, Virginia, you're right. By his actions, we can know, and we can help him get there to be able to say it. But not by asking. We have to live in the knowing when a man is with us. and this is another way we can know, we must first and foremost, from our subconscious programming, feel worthy and lovable and deserving of the man we want and enough. Because most of us, if we've had a baby experience, which we all have, if we're adults, we had a baby experience where we got programmed, and many, 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 many of us got the programming of, you're not quite enough. You're not quite good enough. And it's not what our parents meant to give us, but this is from a baby mind that we get our programming, and that's what it is for many of us. So we have to override that programming and feel enough, and that we are fully lovable, and that we are loved. And when we present that, we actually see it in our reality. That's the beauty of it. So I think we had someone give a really good 3-word phrase, I trust you. However, that is not the 3 words that the man must be able to say, or you will find yourself in quite a difficult situation going down the road. If there is somebody on Instagram that if you come over to YouTube and you put it in the chat on YouTube, you will have won the contest. Someone on Instagram who's watching this live got it, who I don't know, I have not talked to. I don't think so anyway, from the username on Instagram. And if she comes on over to YouTube, just go to Coach Paula Grooms on YouTube, you will see the live there and put it in the chat. You will have won the contest. So since we have that, and hopefully she will come on over and put it in the chat there, but she got it. And that is, ready to hear it, very simple. I am sorry. The reason why a man must be able to say those 3 words is that this goes directly to what I alluded to before about his conscientiousness, his character, and a little bit deeper is that if you are with someone who is highly, highly narcissistic, the only time you will ever hear, I am sorry, is when he's attempting to manipulate you. So the I'm sorry must be genuine and felt and come from him, because then you can have a relationship with him that is healthy and whole. If a man cannot say those 3 words, there's a real problem. I believe this wholeheartedly. There are certainly people who have trouble saying it, but anyone who cannot say this phrase, I want you to think about that. It's very important for us. What does it show? It shows I have insight. Insight is my ability to look at myself, take stock of what I may have done to hurt someone else. You see? It's really vital that a man has this ability. And I do know that men who are extreme narcissists will not be able to say this to you unless it's to manipulate you into doing something they want. So that's the caveat. Because you may be with an extreme narcissist and think, well, he did say it once. I want you to really think about it. Was it to get you to do something he wanted you to do? Was it a manipulation? So that's important. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Joy said, wow, that's good. Wasn't expecting that. Interesting. Yes. That's, why I started this with the I love you, because many people think, well, that's the 3 words. I love you. No, because a man, again, like all that we just said, many people have trouble with that phrase, especially in the beginning, but he can show through his actions that he does. And eventually, when he feels safe, he will be able to. If you know that you are worthy of love, that you are lovable, that's how you know. You manifest it. You have it. You're worthy of it. You're deserving. Question. And the person that said it over here can't find my YouTube password, but I'll try logging on. Great. Yay. So someone, as I said, over on Instagram, she's the winner. And she actually said, Paula, but in psychology, they say the man and the woman should be in equal footing. Is that just modern stuff, or what do they mean by that? Okay. Equal footing is fine. But if we treat men like they should be like women, we've got a problem. You see, we are the natural communicators, connectors, cooperators of the world. Men, you're going to find this funny. This C word they don't like very much, and that is cooperation, consensus, being conciliatory, or compromise. Those aren't men's favorite words at all, and that's okay. Men are naturally born to exude dominance and power. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to allow us to be dominated by a man in a relationship. No. But yes, your question, I believe that we are putting men in positions where we are confusing the hell out of them, and they don't know what to do, where they stand in the world. They don't feel like men. They feel scared to approach women. They are not dating men 18 to 35. A huge portion, I forget the percentage, have not had sex in a year. They have given up on dating. We have stripped them of their feeling of any kind of control, power, and I don't mean in a negative sense. The world is best in yin and yang. Everything in the world is under the feminine or masculine, yin and yang, sun and rain, night or day. It's the law of opposites. Everything just is, and everything can be seen under the law of opposites. We are opposite. And again, everybody's on a scale. There are uber masculine, uber feminine. I use this in my book because everybody knows, like an uber masculine The Rock, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just, I mean, there are so many men that we could use as high on the scale of masculinity and uber masculinity. Now, interestingly enough, think about Jason Momoa looks like a uber masculine man, but they are actually, they have all kinds of colors, right? They are caring, soft as well, but it's always through a lens of masculinity, and they don't feel stripped of their masculinity. There's uber feminine, like everybody would think of Marilyn Monroe as the iconic femininity. Everybody's on a scale. And we all, in terms of what we're doing, kind of flow through different levels of that scale, but all kind of in the middle, so to speak. But a man has to feel this masculine part of himself, and that it's not usurped, and that he's not made to be in the feminine world of talking. Just like Virginia said, action. Women relate via verbalization, men relate via action. Men use only half of the words we do every day. They are not as verbal. Our brain scans show this, in that we, generally speaking, and again, it's on average, we are better verbally and in communication skills. There's a lot now about what we can do to help boys who are not seeking higher education, and they are dropping out at rates that are very alarming. For example, 64% of college graduates are now female. We have been losing men in higher education for years, and now there are more women, for example, in medical school than there are men. In every corner of higher education, except for STEM, that's engineering, that is science, technology, math. But even there, we have a big problem. So they're thinking of starting boys a year later than girls, because they are slower to develop the skills that girls have. And schools are actually trying to fit boys into a model that doesn't fit them. The model for sitting quietly, listening to a teacher, and doing your work by yourself quietly fits girls, not boys. If boys go to boys' schools, they don't do that. They do 30 minutes of that, and then they run them like you would take, if you're taking care of 30 doggies in a daycare, you take them out and run them around. That's what boys need, and that's fine. Differences. And it is okay. Doesn't make it easy on us. Wouldn't it be easier if men were more verbal and could be like us and have a relationship via talking about it? Generally, we have to know that we can talk a man right out the door. It does not work very well for men. And we are generally talking about it because we know so much more, and we know what will work. And we try to get him to do it through talking. We cannot. We have to do it through our action. So that was a little tangent, but tonight, Jamera said, I'm late. What are the 3 words? The 3 words, I am sorry, and mean it, and not attempt to manipulate you through it. So, any questions? Yes. Can you tell me, or here's one. Can we tell him we need an apology, or do we have to not even hint at it so that he comes up with it all on his own? That's a very interesting question. The most important thing is that he can say the words and mean it and is not doing it perfunctorily, doesn't mean it, or is only doing it to manipulate you. So, for example, something he's done has upset you, uh, and you want to see if he can really give you an apology. Depending on the situation, you can say things like, and again, I want you to likely do this when things have cooled down and he is in a better state to be able to. So, not during some kind of argument, say, or something like that, but later say, I'm really glad that we were able to get past that. But what you said really hurt. And I just have to tell you that it really hurt my feelings. Most anyone with any kind of mental health about them, and if they care enough about you, they will say, I'm sorry, I didn't, really mean that. I meant this, or what have you. Any kind of I'm sorry like that is true, is okay. He was able to say it. Here's what the narcissist would do. You say, that really hurt my feelings. Well, you started it. If you didn't say X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't have gotten mad like I did. You see? Uh, Turning it around and not giving you the apology. It would only be to manipulate you to do something else. So, to answer your question, yes, you can. I wouldn't use the word hint. I would just see if he does it or not by saying, that hurt. I was really hurt by that. It made me really upset and sad. In other words, you're not making him bad for it. You see? You're saying your feelings and see if he's attending to your feelings. Because even if he doesn't agree, like if you hurt someone, think about this. Even if you feel justified in what you said, if you know you really hurt them, you can say, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for hurting you. It's not what I meant. So hopefully that's helpful to you. And hopefully you are not with someone who cannot say those things. I lost my, I don't know how to get out of this. I lost my stream here to see. Oh my goodness. That's never happened to me before. Let me see how I get out of this so I can see your questions. Here we go. All right. So, let me see if there are any others. After a period of no contact and he did the breaking up, how does it work then? I'm not sure I understand the question. How does what work? just looking at, and if there are any other questions. So if you can type quickly about after a period of breaking up, and he did the breaking up, how does it work then? I assume that you're asking about, he says, I'm sorry for that. That would be a tough one to expect, knowing your situation after all this time. If he tries to get back, we want to be careful with that. If it's truly a feeling of, I regret having broken up with you, that's one thing. I would, in your situation, knowing it, be careful that it is not in an attempt to manipulate you, to get you to do what he would like you to do. That's my fear for you, Jamara. But if you want to add to that for more context, I will certainly read it. So understand that we are certainly different as night and day, sun and rain, on or off, stop or go. Male and female is different. We don't want to put men under our lens of relating to us as women relate. I always say that in a very good relationship, you as the woman are the mechanic of that relationship, just like he is the mechanic of the car or cars you have. You defer to him because he knows, generally speaking, more about cars than you do. He's interested in them. He likes them. He likes to know about the engine. He'll talk to his friends about cars. He'll go online and look at things about cars. He's not going to do that in a relationship. Yeah, are there men that do that? Yeah, and more these days, you see them. They are more plentiful than women mechanics. However, this is an interesting stat. There are more in America female fighter pilots than there are male kindergarten teachers. We live in a male world, and we are being supported to exude our male energy and to be male in the world, because that male energy, since World War II, was productive for the states. Was productive. Let's put women in the factories and have them work. We needed that during World War II, and it started with, or maybe it was, I think it was World War II. I hope I'm not getting my wars mixed up, that it was World War I or II. But Rosie the Riveter was the famous, iconic female in the overalls working in the factory. Before that, women were not put in a position of being male energied in the world, going out and competing with men in the way that we must in order to make a living, succeed, everything we do in life. But it's hurting us. It's hurting us in big ways globally, because the marriage rate and the child rate is down so much. We are having really a crisis and a fertility apocalypse that in 30 years, or no, just 25, we are going to start seriously feeling the effects. And by 2100, we will be really very, very seriously in trouble because we have no young people being born and coming up to take care of all the elderly people that are going to be left in the world. Already, South Korea, Japan, China, Italy, and Russia are leading the way with such low birth rates that in 100 years, there will be no more South Koreans in 3 generations because the birth rate is so low. We are taking away men's feeling of, and there's many, many things that are contributing to this, economics, all manner of stuff. But we, as women, have taken on the feeling it is a man's world, and we have liked being in the man's world, and we can easily switch to being masculine in a sense, and our identities are not truly hurt by that, if that makes sense. But when men are forced to do it, they don't rebound from it very well, and they do not take to it very well, and they just shut down. It infuses us as little girls when we're put in sports and competing, and we learn to exude that masculine side of us, so to speak. And again, it's all on a scale, but it feels good. It's a great feeling. But when we try to put men more into the feminine roles, for example, it is absolutely fact that if a man does not work outside the home and takes care of the children, his testosterone drops precipitously by a good 35%. We cannot extricate ourselves from the human animals that we are, and that we are actually still in a state that we need to do particular things biologically. It actually affects men's hormones very, very much. So we have to be very, very careful. So, Jamera, I gave you some time there. After all this time, I think the no contact is really affecting him. He tried to come by my mom's house to see me. Yeah, I figured he would do something like that or go to your work, but I don't want to see him with his same program. Yes. I feel I'm healing every day, and I do not want to be put back in that family love from him. Right. He's missing that. So it's time for us to get to work on this, Jamara. He's maybe ready, but this is going to be nuanced, and it's going to be a bit of a hard road. Yeah, but maybe contact Michelle and we should talk about it and where you go from here, because this is going to be hard to navigate. That's for sure. But I'm so happy to hear that you know now you have the control here. And by what you have done, he's followed suit like we think he would. That's great. And whether or not you end up actually getting back with him, you have grown through this. You have gotten that worth and value feeling, knowing you're enough. He wants you. Look what he's doing. It's working. You doing the no contact. You staying high value. He does miss you. No question. This is fantastic. I am really happy to hear that. And it's a win regardless. a true win for you, Tamara. This is, I'm really thrilled to hear that for you. But let's see, because again, you're at a crossroads. This is a tenuous thing. It's a tenuous time. So get in touch with Michelle and we will talk. How nice, Jay Violet, how nice. I'm going to put that up. Thank you so much. What a beautiful lady. That's really nice. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you too. I appreciate all of you here. I'm so happy you joined me here tonight. I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of these stats. You're absolutely welcome. And I don't know, it says Cass Solan or Cassolan on YouTube. Certainly just write to Michelle at coachpaulagrooms.com and she'll be in touch so that you can still win over here, even though you didn't get over to YouTube. I just ask that you come on over when you get your login and subscribe. That helps me so much. How many months after a breakup of no contact, how do we know it's ever going to happen? That's take a look at my videos over on YouTube about no contact, about how you navigate this. It's my three-pronged approach of living in the knowing, of manifesting him back, actually doing something like my Lure Him Back program can really help you jumpstart it, to reset it, so you can actually restart potentially, depending on the situation. You can come over to YouTube and my playlist of Make Him Wonder is the podcast where I have real coaching conversations with women who are attempting to get their ex back, situationships, friends with benefits, all manner of conversations from women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. They are all categorized by age and relationship status. Over 200 of those conversations are in my 80/20 Wonder Club, which there's a link on YouTube of how you get access to them. And when you do get access to them, then you can come on any of these lives anonymously and in audio only and ask me a question. So you can do that, but you really want to now school yourself. If the truth in me resonates with the truth in you, you can do this and you can have what it is that you desire, deserve. I'm not telling you anything here that I haven't done myself. And you can get the love you want. You have to know to your core by overriding your subconscious programming from your childhood that you are worthy, that you are enough, that you are everything, all that in a bag of chips, and that you are to be honored and valued and wanted and all of that good stuff, but really truly feeling it yourself so that he feels it exuded from you and you get that reflected back to you. Then we add in the mechanics of men, like we're talking about here to some degree tonight, but a lot more in other discussions. And manifesting then the third pillar, so that you live in the knowing, using the law of assumption that you can get what you want. You are getting it. You are having it. And you start living it out and it all comes to you. So again, with that, I'm going to, let's see, more questions. Let's see if I can take another few. I'm 36-year-old childless woman. I'm dating online. I matched with a guy who is low income, but he's very sweet and engaging. What should I do? I prefer to date men with degrees, but I'm trying not to be too picky. Should I settle? I feel worthy. Okay. It's a very, very good question. To each his own with this, but I am glad if you are 36 and you would like to have a child, that you will consider someone who's showing you, and again, we go back to it's about tonight. Is he conscientious? Can he say, I'm sorry? Is he that kind of guy? Does he have insight? Is he showing you by showing up for you, by his actions that he cares? Is there any way, because at the end of the day, his degree doesn't matter. His intelligence, his willingness to learn things, to stay curious. They say that the main things that will allow you to know if someone will make a good partner, first and foremost, is he conscientious? Because that is an umbrella of all these other qualities. Someone who is conscientious has a conscience. It's like number one thing. If they say they're going to do something, do they do it? And if they don't do it, do they feel bad about not doing it? Do they attempt to make up for that? You see, it's a good umbrella to look at a man under. Is this man conscientious? Does he say what he means, mean what he says, and he does what he says he will do? Now, you may say, well, he says he'll text me and he doesn't. Well, to what degree? Okay, he's still a guy. We have to give him some leeway. But what is the degree? Okay. Does he want to provide for a family, and does he want what you want? Because at the end of the day, anyone, and they've polled people who've been married for eons, what is it about that person who kept them together? Almost none of them say his degree. They don't even say his looks. They talk about the traits, what kind of man he is, what kind of father he was, what kind of grandfather he is. That's what they talk about. How he was to her. Was he there for her, for the family? Did he work hard at whatever he's doing? Does he have drive? Because some women, it's like, well, I want him to have a degree. Well, unpack that a little bit for yourself. I want him to have a degree because I want an intellectual to have intellectual conversations with. Okay. Is it that, no, I want him to have drive. I want him to make a certain amount and go for that. Like, what is it? Really unpack it for yourself. Because there's a movement in Europe now, because things are so upside down. Again, 64% of college graduates are female. 64%. Some colleges, especially like a liberal arts college or anything of the sort, you're going to have such a disparity of men and women. It's been changing since the 1970s. This isn't something new. It was in the 60s that things started turning around. Prior to that, men outnumbered women in colleges. In the 50s, 40s, and on back, men outnumbered women. It started flipping in the 70s, and it's only gotten to a greater degree. So, men, because of their adventurousness, because of their willing to take risks, they tend not to go into school in the way that women do. I'll go out in the world and make my own money and do my own thing, and I don't have to go to school, and I don't need somebody to give me an education. I know this and I know that. Now, you could say, well, that's not the best, but what has he done in his world? Is he a business owner? Does he have a good job and he loves it and he's out there and doing the right things to actually build a life that coincides with what you want. Does he, if you want a family, absolutely, you got to find that out. Does he want that? In what time frame? Does he want to do things that show more that that's really true? He's looking for a house. He's talking about marriage. He talks about children. You have an MSW. Okay, ding, ding. Me too. Okay. What does he need? You have a master's, but he doesn't need that to be intelligent, to have all the qualities that I'm talking about here, to make you have a great life with him. It's other stuff. I would dare say, like I said, those people who have been married for 40 years or more, they do not cite the person's education, nor do they cite their looks. But interestingly enough, when we're dating, as I've talked about in different videos, that it's very, very, yes, I need him to be dependable, family-oriented, kind. Okay. Okay. Then that's the lens you look at. I like to hear that. That's the lens you look at him under. Intelligent. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So as long as that's at play, you have a groundwork and you have a start. Go from there. So because women marry across the educational line and up, we're having a real problem. And that's why the birth rates are dropping to a degree that never before in history have we ever seen. And it's causing a great disparity with countries economically. There are no young people to be coming up to take the jobs. Schools are closing. 20,000 communities in Japan are ghost towns. They are at the forefront of it. They're the oldest population, and their median age is 48 years old, and they're not having children. So if you want them, I'm really all for that, because that'll make you happiest in the end. That's what people remember, right? Think about your 80-year-old self. What do you most want to have had? So make sure, if you are looking for someone 6 feet or above who makes $250,000 a year, you understand that that guy is 0.01% of men. That's the stat. So I tell women, make a choice. If you need tall, you're only looking for tall. Okay, but then that's the stat for over 250,000 a year. 6 feet and making over 100,000 a year is 3%. Think about that. Okay. Great. I'm only 5'2". He does not need to be 6'2". Great. I would prefer him to make 80K. Okay. So within some kind of range, great. I'm just giving women that stat because if you are looking to marry and have a family, you just knowing your odds, knowledge is power. And if you're not in Silicon Valley, New York City, Dallas, LA, I don't know. But even then, if you want tall, there are only 2 places in the world where the median height is over what it is in the rest of the world, which is 5'9". and that is Estonia and Montenegro. Go figure. Those are the two countries where men are more towards 6 feet and above. Otherwise, 5'9", that's the median. Half men are over, half men are under. But when you add in the money, like we said, 250,000, 0.01%. Over 100,000, 3%. Knowing your odds helps you. So I hope this was helpful. And with that, I think we covered a lot tonight. I love being here with you all. I thank you. I'm going to love and leave you tonight with that. So your man doesn't. Keep these things in mind. Come back for more lives and do me the favor, please, of subscribing if you haven't, hitting that subscribe button right now, hitting the red alert bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I truly appreciate that. It helps me more than you know. It keeps me here with you doing these lives and keeps me going, so to speak. And I really love that. Look for my other videos and check out the description below for ways to contact me and be in touch. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.